Close your eyes.
Hello everyone, welcome to Willow and Roots. It's Michelle here and I have another video for you. Today I'm going to answer a question that I've been asked many times. And it is, what do you consider yourself? Now, human, that's the initial thought. But I'm assuming that that question, they're asking about if I belong to any groups or if there's any community that I belong to, right? Now, this is actually a topic worth talking about because for me, on my journey, I have found it difficult to put myself in a box. Naturally, I am someone that does not like to be labeled. Naturally, I'm someone that does not like to be labeled. I don't like to give myself a label, and I don't want a label to be given to me. I'm someone who is free. I'm one of those people where I can't fit in even if I tried. And trust me, I've tried. In my early teens up to like mid 20s, I tried to fit into certain peer groups and I failed miserably, to be honest. For me, it's hard to label myself and belong to a group or a community because I feel that I'm not able to express myself fully. Right? I don't feel that subscribing or putting myself in a box truly expresses who I am completely, because I like people to see me as I am. What you see is what you get. There's no I am part this, part that, part. It's just is. Right? So I have not put myself in a category because there's no category that can truly express who I am as a soul, right? None. And there's no category that can tell my soul's story. Who I am, it cannot be confined. I cannot put myself or describe who I am in just one box or even 10 for that matter. I am infinite, ever changing by my experiences and the wisdom gained by those experiences. Is difficult for me to maintain that expectation anyway. The expectation of labeling myself, and let's say that I have a differing opinion on a particular topic, that's then opening the doors to be called a hypocrite or to be seen as a hypocrite to that particular category that you're labeling yourself to. For me, it's impossible for me to maintain that strict way of being by labeling myself to a particular group or category or box, really. I like to be free. I like being flexible. I don't like to be restrained. I find it rigid. I find it boring. Right? That's just my experience. Now, when I try to fit in, and let's say that I try to have others see things in a particular way, see things from my perspective, I might say, okay, well, I'm a part of this particular group. I believe in a majority of the things that you are saying. However, maybe we should look at this from a different angle. And then you have people not liking it and calling you a hypocrite. If I don't say anything, if I hold my tongue, I'm dishonoring myself. I'm not being true to myself and sharing my feelings, unable to express myself freely. So for me, I can't do that. There is none. There's no label that I can place on myself. We all have similarities and differences. I find it more freeing and more comfortable just being me, the I am. look at myself, and if I was to put myself in a category or a label, I would say that I'm a soul connected to the source of creation, the wholeness, the all, and all in it. I connect with the vibration of the all. I work alongside the all. I am energy. That's how I describe myself. That's the category that I put myself in, because that's how I see it now. Just energy, interacting with others, exchange of energy. When I connect with source, energy. Even with readings, I don't give myself a title, right? Because it's not coming from me. It's coming from source. When I divine, it's source. Source energy, source wisdom, divine inspiration. It's not Michelle's guidance. It's all coming from source. That's the agreement that I have with the Creator. That's the best way to describe me. I'm a complex and complicated soul. Many people, lovers, friends, family, even strangers, try to figure me out. They think they know me, and then they realize that they don't. But the funny thing is, I'm even trying to understand myself. And it doesn't help being like an aquarium with a lot of water placements. So I call it watery aquarium. The two extremes. Detached and emotionally sensitive. It's just... it's really funny, but I would never change it for the world. So I'm trying to understand myself, my soul, why I'm here, right? This mission that I'm on, connecting with spirit, understanding the whole process. So it is complicated enough having to deal with that. What I've concluded is that it's not knowing and putting a label on yourself, right? It's all about being and experiencing. That's the soul's journey. You see, I'm living through the soul, right? Some may laugh and think it's silly, ha ha ha, but, and there will be a few smarty pants out there that's going to throw, well, your background, your ethnicity. Yes, I completely understand that, right? I know my ethnicity, but I am a soul, and soul is light, right? The difference between many of us, if we're going to be living through our light body, is how the intensity of the light, meaning some light are brighter than others, and that's what you need to determine for yourself. But for me, that's the conclusion that I've come to, and that's what I live by, right? It's the soul's experience on this plane, right? Yes, you can call it hippy dippy and all that, but when connecting with source, it's almost like your focus shifts. When I'm working with clients, focus shifts. It's all about letting them see the divinity in themselves, God in themselves, but also that life is not putting a label on yourself, boxing yourself up and restricting yourself. It's all about being free to grow and expand and explore and experience and learning from your experiences, gaining wisdom from it, because it's changeable. The way you view things when you were 16 or even younger, for each stage of our lives, we have experiences that allows us to grow. We learn from it. Or we're meant to, some of us. Some people are so close-minded and refuse to learn from their experiences, from challenges, from successes. But that's what we're here for. That's a part of the purpose. A part of the purpose. So many of us who are wondering, what is my life purpose? This is the starting point. And that is connecting with who you are. The I am. And who is the I am? Source. It's finding the source within and expanding out. Not boxing yourself up, putting a label on yourself where your story and everyone else's story who are in that same box is different. There's similarities and differences. Some people might not have experienced hardship in others, or hardships in different ways. Some mental, some physical, right? Emotional for some. It varies. So that is why in my readings it is stressed individuality and embracing that and being free. Why do we need to categorize ourselves, put ourselves in a box? Why? That's how you limit yourself. What Spirit says we're limitless. So I can go on preaching about this, but the Aquarian in me just cannot and will not, and I even throw in some of that Pisces too, because they're the same, label myself. I cannot do that. It is physically impossible for me. I just can't. I have this rebellious streak, right? It's all about revolution. It's all about uniqueness. It's all about innovation. It's not about following the herd. I can't do that physically. I can't. I always have to find a solution, a different way of doing things. And that used to drive my parents crazy. But in adulthood, it is refreshing. It is refreshing. So that's my answer to your question. And I believe that's, let's see who that was from. Cali girl. Okay, beautiful. So another question that I received is, who or what do you connect to when you are divining? And that is a fantastic question. That is such a great question, because it's not something that's spoken of much in our community, right? The spiritual community. Now, again, another question where it's my own personal experience and it differs for everyone, right? So when I'm divining, right, I've always had a strong relationship with the universe, source. Ever since I was little. Didn't understand it until later in life, where it was revealed to me that that was where I was getting a lot of my information, my guidance, right, and information that I was sharing with others. It is from the universe directly, right? Some people may say, hey, no, it's impossible. No, it is not. As a matter of fact, you can always tell. You will be able to intuitively know who is actually connected to the universe, getting the guidance directly from source, right? Not everyone has that, let me call it green card, right? Not everyone has that. Yes, everyone has access to source, but there's some people where they're plugged in, right? So there's something called a divine spark. And as I mentioned in a lot of my earlier videos, I talk about you getting your Akashic records done, and you will learn more about your soul from creation to various lifetimes, etc. Right? So there's something called divine spark, and that is like, the best way to explain it, it's like an umbilical cord that's attached to source and you, right? Sometimes it's severed, it's cut, there's a break, there's a split. And other times when it is connected, there is a sense of, well, you can feel source energy around you. You can communicate with source. You can pick up on the messages. You can pick up on the synchronicities, the signs, everything, right? Comes through dreams, etc. Now, some people have one. Actually, a majority of people have one divine spark. There are some people who have no divine sparks, by the way. I was surprised. There are some people who do not have a divine spark. Doesn't mean that you're not connected to source, right? You still are. But majority of the population have one umbilical cord. Now, there's some people who have two. That's a very, very, very strong connection to source, right? Now, it has a link with the chakra as well, the chakras. So in some cases, for some people, it might be the second divine spark is linked to the heart chakra, for others on the third eye, for others the throat. It depends on where, but it's going to cover certain divine aspects. So we have divine inspiration, divine love, divine truth, divine wisdom, so on and so forth. It goes on and on. There's so many. So having two links, it's even more of a connection with source. Not a lot of people have that. Not a lot of people have that, right? And it too can be severed and it can be reattached. So if you get your Akashic reports done and it's severed, the person conducting the report can actually request it to be healed. Okay, so really look into that, guys. It's worth every penny. So as a little girl, I've always had a strong connection with source. But I just didn't understand what it was, but then I did. I understood the greatness of this energy, but I just didn't understand that the greatness was actually source that is connected to me. Yes, I went to church, did all of that, but it felt that source or God was separate to everyone else, and it's only certain people had access to God. It felt like that to me, from what I can understand then as a child. As I've gotten older and have experienced a lot of challenges, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of disappointment, a lot of pain, which I see as tests, my faith and belief in source was never severed or damaged. No matter what I went through, I never doubted source. I never questioned it. Meaning, well, if there was a God, this wouldn't happen, or why did that happen? God doesn't do that. I always had a knowing, a strong knowing, but unable to articulate what it meant. But I always had a firm knowing. So it's not belief, knowing of source energy. Never doubted it. Could not understand, and even to this day, why people doubt it. I don't understand. I don't. So anyway, so when I started divining, like really taking this seriously, when I would connect, when I would offer guidance or do readings, it would always be the source energy. Always. And when I do divine, I can see it in my mind's eye, and it's light, or it's an image of like the cosmos when I'm dealing with the universe, right? When it's universe, so it feels more of a oneness and it's like the collective energy. So it's a oneness and the collective energy. It looks like the cosmos. That's the best way to explain it. When I'm communicating directly with source energy, it is light. The bright light. And I'm seeing this in my mind's eye, so I know. I also connect with ancestors. And that is something that actually came to me once I started this journey, where my ancestors stepped forward, right? My ancestors came to me, right? Offering me protection and guidance. But it's not just the immediate one. We're talking about ancestors from the beginning, from naught. So when I'm communicating with my ancestors, the image that I have in my mind's eye is almost, it's like millions and millions and millions of people. That's what it looks like. And those who want to communicate with me is in the forefront. You see them stepping forth. So it could be an ancient ancestor or a more recent one who would step forward. Now, when I'm doing readings for clients, I too can connect with their ancestors. So I would call on their ancestors, ask them for permission if they have any guidance they want to offer their descendant. And whoever wants to step forward, and I give them the guidance. That's how it works. I also, when I divine, I connect with Gaia. All I do is call on Gaia's energy. Do you have anything that you'd like to share? Same thing with Starseed ancestors. Call on them. Do you have anything you'd like to share? And animal spirits, same thing. Plants, same thing. Botanicals. It's just very vast. So what I would say is, when I divine, I can connect to the all, because I see myself as the all. I see myself as energy, just as all those other things. Anyone can do it, you know, and it's different for everyone. So for me, it's not necessarily mediumship to the point where it's just any old dead person is just coming up to in my energy and saying, hey, you know, I have a message for such and such. I don't get it like that. I actually am in control of who comes towards me. Yes, I've experienced paranormal activities and spirits in like households, etc. And I see them in my mind's eye, but they know not to approach me unless invited. That's it. Right? So I do have boundaries when it comes to that. But for me, my main energy and what I enjoy doing, and the ethereal beings or energy that I like to connect with when divining is source energy, ancestors, Gaia, plants, elementals, all of that. Just the oneness. That's my main source of divining, right? So, and also it's kind of not taking yourself too seriously as well. So starting out, yes, it's amazing and it's a huge ego boost. But after a while, you just realize that, look, it's not you. You're just an antenna. And that's pretty much how I look at it. I don't always go out and say, hey, everyone, I have a message for you. Hey, so I don't do that, right? I have to be invited. I have to be asked. And that's when the universe, right, source, will relay whatever message that person needs to hear, right? So it's not necessarily about, oh, I'm going to tell you that you're going to buy a car or you're going to get that lover. It's going to be, look, you might need to go to the doctor and check this out. It's more telling them things that they need to do. So it would be, okay, well, look, you need to watch that person that's around you. They don't have your best interest at heart. Or that person is, it's always warnings. A dear friend of mine, who is also a client of mine, he explained in his culture in Africa that I would be, and I see, I don't like labeling myself. I don't. But there's kind of like oracle energy. So they're the ones where they get the messages directly from source, right? And it's not about, you know, just the small stuff that goes on in our lives. Am I going to eat? Am I going to lose weight in 2 weeks? Not that kind of foolishness. It's just more on a grander scale. Like, how is the community going to be affected? How is the world going to be affected? What y'all need to be doing to not feel the effects as a collective. Watch my videos, guys. But it's more that. It's more that energy. So he expressed that, if anything, that would be that category. He was going through a divorce that was sprung on him, and he was pretty much beside himself. So I was able to work with him along with God, Source, for him to understand the journey that he's on. That's the best way to put it, right? That's the best way to put it. And to this day, he's just thriving, has a different outlook on God and the universe. And he was already religious, but I explained things to another level, because there are things that, there's information, divine wisdom that we all can't access. Source gives it to us at the right time to share with others. So he was able to receive guidance on his life journey, further information on his life journey that he was able to take and to go out and expand and grow, right? Which is beautiful. But yeah, so those are the energies that I use when divining. And ultimately my dream location would be a cottage in a beautiful woodland, right? Where I'm away from all this energy, where I am free to just be. I am free to grow my own food. I am free to connect wholly with Source, connect with the earth, connect with the trees, everything. That's my dream, right? It will happen. Right. So that's the energy, or those are the energies that I connect with when I'm divining. Thank you for your question, Sam. So I'm going to talk to you about a vision that I had this morning. And it was when I woke up this morning, like around 5 a.m. And of course, that's around the time when I have my communications, my deep chat with the universe, right? So what pops up in my head, and I don't know if this is something that people are talking about, or if someone is watching this video and they might have had a conversation with someone, this is the answer. So the conversation is about those who believe in life after death and those who believe that there's nothing after we die, right? Now that's a topic where there's a lot of like fighting, arguments, not necessarily fighting, but more arguments, not agreeing to disagree. And the interesting answer to this question is that both are correct. Both are true. And I've even had conversations with people about this, not understanding how they can not see that there is more than just this plane. So the universe, Source, explained to me that both are true. So when it comes to a soul, spirit creates a soul, you incarnate, you have certain life lessons and experiences that you're meant to learn. If you learn them in a particular incarnation, you get a new set of lessons to learn for the next incarnation, right? That's how it works, and it just keeps going. Now, what Spirit said was, when it comes to you dying, there's nothing. That is correct, and this is why. What I was shown is there are energies out there, there's people out there where they're neither learning the lessons or teaching it, right? It's just stagnation. So for each lifetime, each incarnation is just stagnation. They're doing absolutely nothing, not participating in the activity, right? Which is to learn. They're just really not participating, not doing anything. It's like wasted energy. And I hate to say it like that, but I was shown like you're neither learning or wanting to learn or wanting to teach. So there's just no movement, no activity. Now, if you believe that there is nothing after death, it doesn't mean that that's going to happen to you where you die and then boom, it's nothing. No. There's some people out there who do believe in life after death, but they're not learning the lessons. They're in that stagnant energy where the soul, lifetime after lifetime, is not participating, right, in life. So what Spirit showed me, the next image that I was shown was an artist doing a beautiful painting, creating a lovely piece of work, piece of art, and realizing that I don't like this. So the artist then removes or destroys the artwork. Poof, that's it. To create something new, to create another work of art. Now, in that sense, if the art or the soul is not doing what it came here to do, it's going to go back to the source energy. So we're seeing source as a ball of light, a ball of energy. That soul reconnects with the source energy, the huge ball of energy. And that's it. It becomes source. It does not exist anymore. Source then takes or creates a new soul, new life, and then puts it on its journey. So that soul that was not participating does not exist anymore. It goes back to source and it becomes the oneness with the source, but there's no consciousness. That's what I'm trying to say. The consciousness leaves, but in its place, source creates a new soul. Because there's a lot of people, if you get your Akashic reports done, you're going to find out how old your soul is. So how many incarnations you've had, right? Whether it be 1 or 79 or even more than that, right? So you will know. So that's what I was shown, and it was quite interesting. It was quite interesting. And there's actually a card in the Divine Abundance Oracle deck, and it says this and that are true. And I remember doing a reading and it came up and it really felt powerful. I was like, it really felt profound, and now it makes sense. Sometimes things just does not make sense on this plane where both sides are arguing, but the fact of the matter is the truth is somewhere in the middle. Right? It is so complicated. It's not black and white. Life is not black and white. It's like a spectrum of colors, right? Spectrum of options and doors and ways through. So I guess what to conclude here is what we thought the whole incarnation, creation of a soul, etc. was, where I guess source made a number of souls and then you just keep getting reincarnated, and that's it. It's not only the case. Sometimes some souls are retired permanently because they're not functioning properly. I know that we'd like to see the source energy or believe the source energy as not able to destroy or not wanting to destroy, but it does. It does. It's not evil. It certainly is not evil. It is complex. There's people who do, or souls, I should say, who do some really wicked things. Hurt, murder, rape, all of that. And they're forgiven. They're forgiven. And they're souls that are stagnant, that's not participating. And they get retired permanently. Poof. It does not exist. But actually exists in source, but there's no consciousness. That was actually a very powerful vision, and I have been getting some really powerful and far out visions where it just seems pretty complex, and I know that there's even more complicated divine wisdom out there, but I'm open to it. This is what I ask Spirit for, right? I'm someone that's inquisitive, likes to study, likes to investigate, especially matters when it comes to spirituality. The occult to a degree, but more spirit energy. How humans work as well. What makes them tick. but more source energy, right? Really fascinated by that. So that's it for this video. Thank you for listening to it. Thank you for supporting my channel, right? I'm truly blessed. I feel very fortunate, especially those who are getting readings as well. Thank you very much. It means a lot, and I really hope that you are receiving the guidance from source, right? Receiving it and actually putting in the work. And I know, again, some people don't like to use that word work, or just make improving your life, taking the steps to improving your life or living a fulfilling life. And like I stress, intention. That's a very powerful word when working with God. It's all about intention, right? Because God knows what you hide. God knows what you don't show everyone else in your surroundings. But it's for you to see it yourself and to admit it. Embrace it. Right? And that's in your personal connection and relationship with source. You can call on your ancestors because they see it too, and your guides, for guidance and help. Some of them can even speak on your behalf to source, right? But it's knowing that you are not alone. You are not alone. Trust and believe. So I'm going to end the video right here. If this video resonates, leave a comment down below. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, press the notification bell. I'm also offering live Zoom readings. Information on that is in the description box below. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Open your